to the people on StreamYard. So again, hello, my name is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist, and welcome to my channel, Lifting As We Climb Consulting Wellness Services, where we focus on supporting individual and collective healing. We have had conversations on this channel talking about ways to support Black women healing from toxic work environments. All of those videos are on my YouTube channel, Lifting As We Climb Consulting Wellness Services. So, again, we are here for the Black Women We Deserve Joy Challenge. And the reason why I'm doing this challenge is that, as a Black woman, and I know a lot of Black women, I have Black women clients, my family, friends, that we're always so busy doing things for other people, or we're always so busy just um, making sure everything's taken care of and kind of putting ourselves on the back burner, that many times we are disconnected from things that bring us joy. And it's so important for us to connect to our joy, because when we don't do that, then we're constantly working, 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 and we don't have a sense of relief. And what we're seeing is that many of us are getting sick, at earlier ages, or we're having some mental health challenges because we're always on the go and we're not really centering ourselves. So, decided to do the challenge to help Black women reconnect to our joy. I've had many situations with clients where I'll ask them, what kind of things they like to do for fun, and they really don't know. They're not able to identify. And maybe you can relate to that too, where you've been in situations where you can't remember even the last time you did something for fun, or you can't remember what even gives you joy anymore. So the challenge is for us to really pause. We had our kickoff on Monday with Afroflow Yoga. We had Afroflow Yoga teachers here going through some breathing exercises for us and remembering for us to stop and breathe. And it's really hard for us as Black women to pause and be still, because when we're still, we can hear the word of the divine in terms of what our direction is. So again, the hope is that you're able to stop, pause, breathe, take a moment. And as Gina mentioned in our last video, the first kickoff video, that joy is our birthright, right? So we need to give honor to that. So I'm going to give a brief overview of the different areas that we've covered in the Joy Challenge. And so each day until Friday, I'll be coming on live to give different tips about ways for us to really reconnect to our joy as Black women. So I talked before about the joy meter, and that is really ranking on a scale from 1 to 10. So 1 being low to 10 being I'm super happy, I'm full of joy, rating every day for the whole 5 days of the challenge how joyful you're feeling. So again, that supports that connection to feelings. We also talked about joy robbers. So people in our lives or situations in our lives that really rob us of our joy. And it's important for us to be mindful of these situations and these people so that we can either avoid or not have contact with certain people or situations. Or if we have to have contact with those people or situations, how do we do so in a way that it minimizes harm to us? So, can we limit the amount of contact or how we interact with people? But it's important to really be mindful of those people who really steal our joy. I talked about before, many people might call them energy vampires. So, these are people that you feel drained by and they're not giving back to you. Okay. So, today we're going to be talking about really connecting to and identifying what are the things that make you feel joyful, right? So we talked about before the difference between happiness and joy. And happiness is more so related to external things. So external conditions that are making you happy. Joy is more of an internal experience, something that really feeds your soul and your spirit and just makes you feel just elated, right? So, want you to take the time before tomorrow to identify all the things that bring you joy. And if you have any struggles with that, maybe think about as you were a child, when you were a little girl, as you were growing up, what kind of things brought you joy before we had all of these different responsibilities? Maybe it might be good to reconnect to that little girl you and think about what kind of things really just lit you up. Okay, so that's the call to action for today in terms of the challenge is to really reconnect to what gives you joy. Make a list of these things, and then we're going to talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. Now, I'm just giving you a little snippet with the challenge of some joyful tips in terms of how to reconnect to our joy as Black women. On Friday, I'll be sharing a little bit more in terms of how we can really elevate this to a higher level so that we can have more of a commitment to reconnecting to our joy. As I've mentioned before, we deserve it as Black women. We deserve to reconnect to our joy. So, my hope is that you are participating in this challenge, that you are sharing this information with other Black women so that we can share the joy with our sisters, and that we are able to really take that time to really be still. Pause and be still. The work that we have to do will be taken care of, but we have to make time for us to take care of ourselves too. Okay. So, with that, I am signing off. My hope is that you will also subscribe to my channel and that you will like and comment on the videos and also share them with other Black women. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as I tune in or I come live for another joyful tip. So enjoy the rest of your evening.